Alrighty everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be covering the third iteration, or technically the second real one, of the AFK journey battle drills. So this week it's going to be covering the Misty Woods, and all I'm going to be covering is how we as a guild are approaching it on my server, which is S25. We are the Shadows Guild. We have been ranking #1 in pretty much every category that we've done, except for this honor duel, which we're getting closer on. But it's also that we have been doing very well in our past runs as well. There's the first round, the second round, and here we're going to be beginning the third round. So in it, our guild has been primarily about 10 people have been free to play, 10 people have been about light spenders, and then the other 10 people have been the typical whales. So here is our setup for the people here. Not today, sir. We are missing 3 players right now. They are going to be coming in sometime in the next hour or so. Anyways, let's get on to it. So here is the map, and so I'm just going to tab over to the map that I've drawn up and explain a little bit on how this is working. So this is the baseline edit. So the important things to note that are down here. This map actually gives an attack bonus for all of the 15 members who join in here. So if you really want to optimize your run, you'd put at least 10 of your strongest players inside of this left side camp, because they're going to have the attack bonus, and that's going to help them scale further in clearing out the mini bosses and bosses for your guild. The other side is a defense buff, so it's not quite as powerful. It is helpful for the players who are a little bit weaker in power, and helps them to survive a little bit. So another interesting thing to note is that the total number of passages is slightly different. So in the round 2 one, there was 198 passages total. So if you count all of these right here, there was 198 in the second one. And this one that we're going to be doing here for the Misty Valley is going to be, or Misty Passage, is going to be 154 total attacks. So there are less passages to be clearing. So you can get away with less people in your guild attacking these passages for you. So in here, in each of these towers, these are the ones where you have to select. The other 2 towers here, C3 and D3, are ones that everybody is going to be able to grab, just the only one that's in there. So if you are a tower or a boss player, and I'll explain what this means in a little bit, then you are going to be grabbing this first buff. If you're going to be solely a passage player, or a player who's focusing on the passages, then you're going to be grabbing this third buff for both sides. So I'm going to swap over to the next image so you can see how we have it set up here. So I have 2 teams, because you can only have 15 members on each side. So the goal is all of my guild members to reach the C2 and D2 by the end of the first day. That is the goal. Feasibly possible, there should be about 7 attacks left that we should be able to start working on C3 and D3. There is other caveats as well. So the goal is to be able to clear each of these towers in 5 attacks. So if we could clear them in 5 attacks each, then we're well on our way. Same thing for the mini bosses. We have set a goal to be able to clear them in 10 attacks each. That's more of a high bar. I think in the last round when we were doing it, we were able to clear these towers in 6 attacks on average, but that was mostly because we had other random people were doing piddly attacks instead of saving the big boys to take out the towers. And then for the mini boss, I think it was Haywin, we actually were able to clear it in 7 times on the first run, and then on the second round we were able to clear it in 11 attacks. So theoretically on this first round we should be able to clear in 7 on average, so that'll give us an extra 6 attacks to continue on and take out these towers. So this is how it's set up. I just did a straight go through our power, because we keep track of the power. The AFK stage is everyone on what everybody's resonance is, and so we track all of that information within our guild. And so doing so, we're able to assign players. So right now it's more heavy. The tower and boss players are going to be in this left camp again for that attack buff, and then the rest of our players are going to be either solely passage players, or they're going to be these passage and towers, while the bees are going to be focusing on the bosses, which is the mini bosses and the boss itself. One final thing to show So I'll bring this over here so you guys can see. So this is the final message that I put here, basically how the players are going to set it up. So the passage players are going to bring in 10 characters, and then they're going to do an additional +5 characters once they've reached this tower right here and we've cleared it. Then we'll get the extra 5 characters, and so that's going to be on the first day. And then either on the second day or maybe the third day, that's going to be determined depending on how fast we clear this. Then they're going to swap those guys into being their main boss team. So that's going to be our passive players. For our passage and towers players, they're just going to use the first characters. The first 10 characters are going to clear passages, and then the next 5 characters are going to be their main boss team, or their towers and mini bosses. Then for the tower and boss players, they're going to have 5 characters that they use for towers, 5 characters that they will use for mini bosses, and then the other 5 are going to be once you've done the stamina regen swap trick, and that's something I'll include here. So however long this video is going, I'll include it here about 6.5 minutes in, the link to my video that shows how to do the stamina regen trick. So that's very important because you're going to be getting an extra 24 stamina on 5 characters, and so that is something that you could put on to your main characters, whether that is your tower characters or your mini boss characters. And so it is important the type of teams you're bringing, because for the towers and passages you want more AoE teams and faster characters that can do faster damage, but for the bosses and mini bosses you want more single target damage dealers. That is about the approximate overview over here. I'll go over the teams that I'm using here as well. So this is my starting team. I'm focusing primarily on just a main mini bosses team because I expect we're going to clear through really quick to the towers, and then we'll just reach the mini bosses. I just want to be ready for the mini bosses, and then once I unlock these +5 slots, then I'm going to determine on how I want to approach it, whether I want to be more of one of these 2 types of teams. So the red characters are my highest invested, and so they are going to be the ones that I'm going to focus the most on as a likely substitute for my my final +5 characters. And then my blue squared characters here, those are characters that have also done fairly well in mini bosses as like a second or third off team. So I'm just not sure what I'm going to be using. I haven't used Florabella yet, so this is going to be something I'll be testing in here. And yes, I don't think there's anything else I will be showing you all today. I mean, I could kind of show you my guidebook here. This is what we've been using to track all of our AFK stages, the reso power and the power, and then we have like other recs that we track here as well. But these are just the main ones where I've just simply sorted it by power, and then I've taken into account how far they are in AFK and their reso level, because the reso level is going to make a bigger difference in these stages than them. To start off, I believe it's 171 or 173 here inside of the Misty passages, or whatever this current AFK battle drill is called, and so our guild average right now is 175. Right now that's right on target. We look 173. Okay, so our guild average right now is 2 higher than these battles right here. So as we defeat the camps, you know, +10, +10, +10, that's going to be +30 right there, and then we're going to get an additional 40 right here. So that'll be giving us a +70 in total to our levels as we're coming into the Bloom Mother. That's my quick overview for you guys. Once I go back, I will go over to my guidebook here, because I did one here for setting up for the Shadow Grove, and so I'm going to be making another one that's going to be for this next one right here, which is the Misty Woods. Doing so, and I promise this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I just literally have not had time to go and cover this, but it's going to be the optimal pathing and stamina usages and stuff on how to break everything down and have the most optimal passage possible. If you are a min-maxing guild or the hardcore competitive guild, this is the kind of information that I like to see and have as I'm planning and approaching. But yep, that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stick around, subscribe, share this. Sharing is caring. I am more than happy to help out other people, and I hope this helps you guys progress and help your guild continue to stand strong. Alright, signing off. Bye.